Your parents had no idea what they were doing. When they picked your name, they thought they were choosing something that sounded nice. Maybe a family tradition. Maybe a name they heard in a movie. But here's what's strange. According to at least 3 ancient traditions that have never been in contact with each other, the name you were given at birth carries a hidden code, a vibration, a set of instructions about who you're supposed to become, and most people never check what those instructions say. I'm Maia, and on this channel, I never trust a single tradition on its own. I cross 9 of them: Pythagorean Numerology, Kabbalistic Gematria, Bazi, Western astrology, Vedic astrology, human design, the Chinese zodiac, astrocartography, and feng shui. When 3 of them agree, that's a pattern. When 5 agree, it's a signal. When 7 or more point in the same direction, that's where truth lives. Now here's what makes today's video different from every other name numerology video you'll find on YouTube. Everyone else will tell you to add up the letters in your name and get a number, and that's fine. But nobody ever asks the real question. Does the code in your name match the code in your birth chart? Because when they align, everything feels effortless. Your career, your relationships, your purpose, it all clicks. But when your name says one thing and your birth chart says the opposite, that's when life feels like you're swimming against a current you can't even see. Today, I'm going to show you how to read the hidden code in your name, using 2 traditions that specialize in names. And then I'll show you how to cross that code with the 7 traditions that read your birth chart. Stay until the end, because that cross-reading is where the real insight lives. Let's start with the oldest and most widely used system for decoding a name, Pythagorean Numerology. This method dates back over 2,500 years, and it works in any alphabet. Every letter gets a number from 1 to 9. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, and so on up to I, which is 9. Then it cycles back. J is 1 again, K is 2. You take your full birth name, not a nickname, not a married name, the exact name that appeared on your birth certificate. You assign a number to every single letter, then you add them all up and reduce to a single digit unless you get 11, 22, or 33. Those are master numbers, and they stay as they are. That final number is your expression number. Some traditions call it the destiny number. Think of it as the full picture of your talents and your natural way of operating in the world. If your expression number is 1, you're built to lead, to initiate, to go first. If it's 7, you're built to analyze, to question, to seek meaning beneath the surface. If it's 22, you carry an enormous potential to build something that lasts for generations, and also an enormous pressure to live up to it. But here's what most people miss. Pythagorean numerology doesn't give you just 1 number from your name. It gives you 3. The second one is your soul urge number. To find it, you only use the vowels in your name. A, E, I, O, U. Add them up, reduce. This number reveals what drives you at the deepest level. The desires you don't always say out loud. The things you need to feel truly fulfilled. 2 people can have the same expression number and behave completely differently because their soul urge is pulling them in different directions beneath the surface. The third one is your personality number. This time you only use the consonants. Everything that isn't a vowel. This number describes the face you show the world, the first impression you make, the version of you that strangers meet before they know the real you. So from a single name, Pythagorean numerology extracts 3 layers: your full operating system, your deepest motivation, and your outer mask. Already, that's a lot more than just 1 number. Now let's go to a completely different tradition, Kabbalistic Gematria. This system comes from the Hebrew mystical tradition, and it works differently. In Gematria, every Hebrew letter has a value, but it also has a meaning. Aleph, the first letter, value 1, represents the primal breath, the silent beginning, Beth, value 2, means house. It represents shelter, containment, the space that holds something sacred. Shin, value 300, is the letter of fire, transformation, and creative intensity. When your name is transliterated into Hebrew letters, Gematria doesn't just add up numbers. It reads the symbolism of the letters themselves. The initial letter of your first name is considered the doorway to your identity. If your name starts with a sound that maps to Mem, the letter of water and emotional depth, that tells a very different story than a name that starts with Resh, the letter of the head, of leadership and intellectual authority. Then the letters that appear most frequently in your full name become your dominant vibrations. And the fascinating part is that these symbols come from a completely independent tradition. It developed in a different part of the world, in a different language, with a different philosophy. And yet, when you compare what Pythagorean numerology says about your name with what Kabbalistic Gematria says, they often agree. Not always. But when they do, pay attention. That's already 2 traditions out of 9 pointing in the same direction. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Everything I've just described comes from your name. But you also have a birth chart. And your birth chart speaks through 7 other traditions that don't care what your name is. Your Bazi Day Master is determined by the exact day you were born according to the Chinese calendar. It assigns you one of 10 elemental archetypes: Jia, the tall tree; Bing, the blazing sun; Gui, the gentle rain. Each one has a natural temperament, strengths, and blind spots. And your Day Master has nothing to do with your name. It's purely astronomical. Your Western natal chart maps the positions of the planets at the moment you took your first breath. Your sun sign, your moon sign, your ascendant. These describe your core identity, your emotional nature, and the way others perceive you. Again, completely independent of your name. Vedic astrology adds another layer through the nakshatras, 27 lunar mansions that refine your moon sign into something far more precise. Your human design type, whether you're a generator, a projector, a manifester, a reflector, or a manifesting generator, describes how your energy is designed to flow. The Chinese zodiac gives you an animal and an element based on your birth year. And feng shui calculates your personal Kuan number, which reveals your most supportive directions and environments. None of these systems use your name. They all use your birth data. So now you have 2 sets of codes, the name codes from numerology and gematria, and the birth codes from 7 other traditions. The question nobody else asks is this: do they match? Let me give you a concrete example. Imagine someone whose expression number is 8. In numerology, 8 is about power, ambition, material mastery, and leadership in the tangible world. Now imagine that same person has a Bazi Day Master of Gai water. Gai is gentle rain, quiet nourishment, patience, adaptability. It doesn't charge forward, it seeps through. Do you see the tension? The name says, build an empire. The birth chart says, flow around obstacles quietly. Neither one is wrong, but if this person doesn't understand why they feel torn between ambition and gentleness, between domination and surrender, they'll spend years confused about who they really are. Now flip it. Imagine someone whose sole urge is 7. 7 craves solitude, depth, spiritual inquiry, and time alone to think. And their human design type is projector, which is designed to wait for invitations, to guide rather than initiate, to conserve energy. And their Vedic moon falls in the nakshatra of Ashlesha, which is deeply intuitive and investigative. That's 3 traditions from 3 different civilizations, all saying the same thing. Go deep. Trust your inner knowing. Don't rush. When you see that kind of convergence, it's powerful. 3 traditions agreeing is a trend. 5 is a strong signal. 7 or more is as close to certainty as these systems get. And there's one more thing worth knowing. Your birth name and your current name can tell different stories. In numerology, Your birth name reveals your original blueprint. But if you go by a nickname, or you changed your name through marriage, that new name adds a new vibration on top of the original one. It doesn't erase it. Think of it like a filter placed over a lens. The image underneath is still there, but the colors shift. This is why some people feel a dramatic shift after changing their name, and why others feel a subtle friction between who they were named to be and who their birth chart says they are. The cross-reading reveals both. Now I want to be clear about something. This is a symbolic reading. It's a tool for self-knowledge, not a medical diagnosis or a financial plan. No tradition, ancient or modern, can replace professional advice when you need it. But here's what I believe after years of studying these systems. When you understand both codes, the one in your name and the one in your birth chart, you stop fighting against yourself. You stop wondering why some things feel natural and others feel impossible. You get a map, not a verdict. A map. If you found this valuable, do 2 things. First, drop your first name in the comments. I'd love to know who's watching, and I might do a future video breaking down real names live using multiple traditions. Second, hit subscribe and tap the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. In my next video, I'm going to show you how to find the best and worst days of any month using your personal numbers and your Bazi chart. It's like having a cheat code for timing your big decisions. You won't want to miss that one. I'm Maya. This is where 9 ancient traditions agree, and that's where truth lives. I'll see you in the next one.